The 2026 planting season may be the last thing on your mind right now. But as we show you in Yield Builders this weekend, David Hula, the world record holder for corn yields, says now is the time you should actually prepare to plant.
We finished planting the 2025 season. The planter's kind of been halfway washed now, but we're getting ready to take it apart, put it in the shop, and start working on it, rebuild it for 26. So some of the things that we're going to spend a lot of time on is first, clearly we have to replace our no-till coulter blades. We run the Great Plains Turbo no-till coulter blade, but we're also going to spend a significant amount of energy replacing these double disc openers. We go to the John Deere place and we run them through our jig to make sure we get good ones without a wobble, make sure the holes are cut out in the center. And there are other off brands, but I've stuck with John Deere blades because I know that we'll get a good season out of them, and then we'll just replace them at the end of the season. So that's probably the most important component. And then, you got Missy and Bill Bauer talk about the touch points. Precision Planting spends a lot of time talking about how close the blades should be put together. Then the thing that I see most growers struggle with is the depth. They'll spend time, a grower go out there and he'll plant his crop, then he'll scratch the surface to see what his seeding depth is. And we know we want corn to be 2 inches or no less than 1 3/4 inches. One of the things that we have seen over time is you're planting it at 2 inches, but the ground is settling, whether it's no-till, conventional till, strip till, we're getting some settling. So Paul Bogenstein, our agronomist, kind of coined this phrase with me, germination depth. So we kind of like talking about that, germination depth. So we might be planting the seed at 2 inches, but the germination depth could be 1.5 to 1 3/4 inches. So we oftentimes go a little bit deeper. Now, if you notice on a planter, and if I ever go to somebody's planter and see all the T-handles in the same holes, then I know they didn't check each individual unit out. And we spend time, I've heard Randy Dowdy talk about locking up the closing system, ratchet strapping it up, seeing what the seed is. Well, we do that similar, but we also do a lot of digging. And we check, and if our T-handles they're not all in the same slot, we calibrate them, and I do actually have one T-handle that's 3 notches different than the neighbor of each other. So each unit is its own planter. So use the technology that's available to us today. And as that planter leaves the field, I hope God has blessed the seed you've sown and that you have the crop that you're hoping for.
Thanks, David. Well, a scoop of change, how the dairy industry is answering the Trump administration's appetite to make America healthy again. That's next.
Yield Builders on U.S. Farm Report is brought to you by Miravis Neo from Syngenta. How do you spell yield? N-E-O. How do you spell results? N-E-O. How do you spell R-O-I? N-E-O. Miravis Neo is your answer.